Dobry wieczór. Minęła właśnie godzina 17, a na tą godzinę zaplanowaliśmy nasz dzisiejszy webinar na temat studiów magisterskich. Witam wszystkich, którzy dotarli. Bardzo się cieszymy z Waszej obecności. Tomek Molenda, program eduABROAD. Jeszcze raz witam Was serdecznie. I może na początek chciałbym być tak w 100% pewien, czy na pewno nam wszystko działa, czy nie mamy żadnych problemów technicznych, więc dwie kwestie. Czy mnie widzicie i czy mnie słyszycie? I od razu możemy troszeczkę się zapoznać z naszą platformą. O właśnie, tam właśnie chciałem, żebyście napisali, czy wszystko jest OK. Na platformie do webinarów mamy czat, na którym możecie pisać i bardzo się cieszę, bo widzę, że wszystko działa, więc bardzo, bardzo dobrze. I kolejna informacja, jak można wykorzystać ten czat. Podczas dzisiejszego webinaru mamy kilka części, ale na sam koniec mamy część, gdzie będziemy odpowiadać na Wasze pytania. Te pytania będziemy kolekcjonować właśnie na czacie, dlatego od samego początku dzisiejszego wydarzenia zachęcamy Was do wpisywania tych pytań właśnie na czacie. W miarę jak będziemy poszczególne kwestie omawiali, jeżeli nasunie się Wam jakieś pytanie, śmiało wpisujcie je na czacie. My będziemy je oznaczać, że są one pytaniami i później w ostatniej części dzisiejszego wydarzenia wrócimy do nich wszystkich i postaramy się na nie odpowiedzieć. A w związku z tym, że transmitujemy również na żywo na Facebooku, jeżeli ktoś ogląda nas tam, no to oczywiście nie macie dostępu do platformy. Możecie zawsze dołączyć, link do spotkania jest w wydarzeniu na Facebooku, a jeżeli nie macie możliwości do dołączenia na platformę naszą webinarową, to na pewno znajdziecie wiele sposobów, żeby zadać te pytania do nas za pomocą Facebooka, czy to na dyskusji w wydarzeniu, czy w komentarzu, czy w wiadomości prywatnej do nas jako program eduABROAD Studia za granicą na Facebooku. Zachęcam Was do zadawania tych pytań dzisiaj. Dzisiejszy webinar będzie się składał tak naprawdę z 4 części. Pierwsze 3 części to są takie, gdzie przygotowaliśmy dla Was sporą dawkę informacji, która jest poparta oprócz tym, że będziemy o nich mówić, pewnymi slajdami z podsumowaniem najważniejszych informacji. I jak już ujawniłem, na sam koniec będziemy również mieli sesję pytań i odpowiedzi, więc wszystkie te pytania, które zadacie, postaramy się na nie jak najlepiej tylko potrafimy oczywiście odpowiedzieć. Dzisiejszy webinar wraz ze mną będzie współprowadził również Finn. So Finn, if you could say hello to everyone who's attending as well.
Hi.
Great to have you.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to tell you a bit about my experiences at the South Danish University. Yeah, after you get a brief introduction.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so that's actually the plan. Może już wrócę na język polski. Plan jest taki, że na sam początek pozwolicie, że jeszcze kilka minut zajmę Wam ja i chciałbym Wam powiedzieć na temat kilku takich kwestii związanych w ogóle z naszą działalnością jako program eduABROAD, czyli Biuro Uczelni Zagranicznych tutaj w Polsce, jak możemy Wam pomóc. Dosłownie kilka informacji na temat takich bardzo podstawowych na temat właśnie studiów za granicą, konkretnie na przykładzie Danii. To będzie pierwsza część, która będzie w języku polskim, przeze mnie prowadzona. Potem mamy drugą część, która będzie w całości poprowadzona przez studenta, który jest dzisiaj z nami. Finn studiuje na co dzień na uczelni University of Southern Denmark, która zaprasza między innymi właśnie na studia uzupełniające drugiego stopnia, czyli studia magisterskie prowadzone w języku angielskim. Po części Finna ja wrócę z takim podsumowaniem odnośnie praktycznych rzeczy związanych z rekrutacją na takie studia, na temat dokumentów, jakich potrzebujecie chociażby. I na sam koniec 4. część, czyli Wasze pytania, nasze odpowiedzi. I tak to technicznie wygląda. Zachęcam do zostania z nami przez plus minus najbliższą godzinę. Na godzinę zaplanowaliśmy dzisiejszy webinar. Mam nadzieję, że wszystkie kwestie, o których chcemy powiedzieć, uda nam się zmieścić w tym czasie i że też będzie dostatecznie czasu na wszystkie Wasze pytania, do których jeszcze raz Was zachęcam do zadawania ich w okienku czatu. No dobrze, to żeby nie przedłużać, kilka słów wstępu ode mnie. My jako program eduABROAD, tak jak już zdążyłem wspomnieć, jesteśmy biurem zagranicznych uczelni tutaj w Polsce. Działamy już od ponad 14 lat, więc mamy dosyć dużo doświadczenia, jeżeli chodzi o rekrutację na studia za granicą w różnych krajach. Dzisiejszy webinar dotyczy właśnie możliwości studiowania w Danii. Dlaczego taką istotną kwestię przykładamy do możliwości studiowania w Danii? Myślę, że zaraz się przekonacie, dlaczego tak naprawdę warto. Oprócz tego, że wiele lat doświadczenia za nami przemawia, to z liczb jeszcze oczywiście przemawia za nami dosyć duża liczba studentów, którzy z naszą pomocą wyjechali na swoje wymarzone studia w różnych krajach, z którymi współpracujemy. To, co takie jest istotne, jeżeli chodzi o naszą działalność, my pracujemy bezpośrednio dla uczelni wybranych, nie wszystkich z danego kraju, z których uczelnie reprezentujemy, ale dzięki temu możemy pozwolić sobie na to, że skoro uczelnie finansują naszą działalność, to my jesteśmy w stanie w tej całej rekrutacji Wam pomóc bezpłatnie i mimo to, że jest to bezpłatna pomoc, to oczywiście jest to pomoc wysokiej jakości. To pewnie odróżnia nas, jeżeli gdzieś szukaliście informacji na ten temat, możliwe od jakichś innych firm komercyjnych, które gdzieś tam na rynku też działają, które owszem pomagają, ale niestety tutaj wymagają dosyć dużego wkładu finansowego z Waszej strony, jeżeli chodzi o samą pomoc w rekrutacji. Dzisiejszy webinar dotyczy studiów drugiego stopnia i tu od razu zasygnalizuję, że to, co obecnie studiujecie, będzie w pewien sposób determinowało możliwości, jeżeli chodzi o wybór kierunków, na które możecie aplikować w Danii. I nie tylko w Danii, jest tak, że właśnie Wasze studia pierwszego stopnia, co więcej, bardziej ich program decyduje o tym, jaki kierunek studiów uzupełniających, magisterskich studiów drugiego stopnia możecie podjąć. Dzisiejszym webinarem chcielibyśmy Was zachęcić, że studia za granicą jest to naprawdę duża przygoda i też pokazać Wam różne wartości, co tak naprawdę studiowanie w innym kraju, dokończenie swojej edukacji właśnie za granicą, co tak naprawdę Wam to może dać. I tutaj ten wątek pewnie będzie się przewijał przez całe dzisiejsze wydarzenie. Na pewno to, co chciałbym zasygnalizować, to to, że studia za granicą, zwłaszcza w Danii, są bardzo skupione na praktyce. Dzięki temu jesteście tak naprawdę gotowi do podjęcia tego zatrudnienia w zawodzie, w którym się kształcicie na studiach, tak naprawdę od pierwszego dnia, kiedy pójdziecie do pracy, kiedy rozpoczniecie swoją karierę zawodową, a często tą karierę zawodową studenci właśnie w Danii rozpoczynają równolegle do studiów, o czym film pewnie dzisiaj też Wam wspomni. Dlaczego możliwe jest podjęcie zatrudnienia i skąd te umiejętności wykonywania swojego zawodu od pierwszego dnia? To dzięki temu, że studia magisterskie właśnie w Danii są bardzo praktyczne. Opierają się głównie na tym, że studenci pracują metodą projektową, rozwiązując rzeczywiste problemy z danej branży i to, że właśnie współpracują uczelnie i studenci z przedsiębiorstwami z danej branży, żeby mieć te problemy do rozwiązania, ale żeby też zrobić od razu już podczas studiów sobie taki networking i żeby pozyskać te kontakty pod kątem też szukania przyszłego zatrudnienia. A takim świetnym możliwością znalezienia przyszłego miejsca pracy to odbycie praktyk. W ramach studiów magisterskich jest semestr, gdzie można też wykonywać praktyki, gdzie też oczywiście wykonuje się swoją pracę dyplomową chociażby. I jest to kolejny sposób, żeby właśnie rozpocząć, żeby postawić ten pierwszy krok na rynku zawodowym, na rynku pracy. Te praktyki muszą być naprawdę wysokiej jakości. Wynika to też z tego, że często studenci swój projekt dyplomowy, który zawsze jest czymś praktycznym, to nie może być jakiś projekt, jakaś praca, właśnie, to musi być projekt, nie może być to praca, gdzie tylko przepisujemy książki, to musi być rozwiązanie zazwyczaj właśnie jakiegoś konkretnego problemu, najlepiej właśnie takiego, który jest zaczerpnięty chociażby z tej firmy, z tego przedsiębiorstwa, gdzie jesteśmy czy to na praktykach, czy może już udało nam się i tam właśnie pracujemy. Też musicie pamiętać, że atmosfera na studiach w Danii jest zupełnie inna niż jest to w Polsce i oprócz tego, że relacje między studentami są bardzo partnerskie oczywiście, to również relacje z wykładowcami są zupełnie na innym poziomie. To, że do wykładowców mówi się po imieniu, to, że wykładowcy faktycznie interesują się przebiegiem naszych studiów, no to jest często to, co odróżnia właśnie studia w Danii od tego, co jesteśmy przyzwyczajeni, jeżeli ktoś już studiował, czy też zakończył studia, czy też nadal studiuje na studiach pierwszego stopnia w Polsce. Domyślam się, że w przypadku waszych uczelni wygląda to troszeczkę inaczej. I to wszystko sprawia, że tak naprawdę nauczycie się oczywiście tych niezbędnych kompetencji, nabędziecie wiedzę, która jest potrzebna do rozpoczęcia zatrudnienia i do tego, żebyście mogli wykonywać swoje obowiązki właśnie od tego pierwszego dnia, ale oprócz tych kompetencji, które są potrzebne w pracy, też dużo tych life skillsów, czyli takich praktycznych umiejętności. Jeżeli ktoś jeszcze się nie nauczył gotować, to pewnie będąc już w pełni samodzielnym za granicą, no jest duża szansa, że się nauczy i też dużo takich dodatkowych bonusów wynikających ze studiowania za granicą. To, że studiujemy w grupie międzynarodowej, gdzie oprócz nas będą osoby z mnóstwa pewnie krajów w naszej grupie studenckiej, a na uczelni tym bardziej, sprawia to, że mamy szansę nawiązania znajomości oczywiście z osobami z całego świata. No i jak uczy doświadczenie naszych studentów, często to są znajomości na całe życie, czasami też kończą się jakimiś małżeństwami, czy też innymi związkami, więc naprawdę wyzwań i możliwości jest dosyć dużo. Dlatego właśnie zachęcamy Was do tego, żeby zastanowić się, czy może studia w Danii to jest odpowiednia opcja dla Was i temu poświęcimy dzisiejszy webinar. Odpowiemy na takie pytanie jak na przykład właśnie, czy ten kierunek musi być taki sam, co z certyfikatem językowym. Na szczęście jest tu dużo ułatwień, o których dzisiaj będziemy mówić i na takie pytania sobie odpowiemy. I jeżeli chodzi o to, z jakimi uczelniami współpracujemy w Danii, tutaj macie ich listę. W języku angielskim te uczelnie głównie oferują studia pierwszego stopnia, ale dzisiaj właśnie gościmy studenta z uczelni University of Southern Denmark i mówimy o studiach magisterskich, ponieważ ta uczelnia prowadzi właśnie studia magisterskie w języku angielskim. Tutaj macie tylko część kierunków, które są oferowane w języku angielskim. Nasza współpraca z uczelnią University of Southern Denmark polega na tym, że my pomagamy w rekrutacji właśnie na te kierunki, ale to nie są jedyne kierunki, które uczelnia oferuje, więc jeżeli niekoniecznie widzicie się na studiach drugiego stopnia w jednym z tych kierunków, to pewnie uczelnia SDU również będzie miała Wam coś do zaproponowania w języku angielskim. Za chwilkę też sobie powiemy na temat możliwości pracy, kosztów życia, o tym powie Fin, o tym troszeczkę też ja wspomnę i z takich podstawowych informacji to, co chciałbym, żebyście z tej perspektywy patrzyli na jakby to, co wszystko dzisiaj będziemy mówić, to, że studia w Danii są bezpłatne, czyli nie ma czesnego, wystarczy posiadanie obywatelstwa polskiego lub innego kraju Unii Europejskiej i nie musicie płacić za studia, musicie tylko pokryć swoje własne koszty życia, zakwaterowanie, wyżywienie. Szacujemy je na około średnio 2,5 tysiąca złotych miesięcznie. Natomiast duża szansa, że na te koszty będziecie w stanie zapracować sobie samodzielnie, ponieważ w trakcie studiów możecie podjąć legalną pracę. Jest możliwość połączenia studiowania właśnie takiego dziennego, bo kierunki w języku angielskim w Danii są oferowane w formie dziennej, z pracą, a pracując 10-12 godzin w tygodniu, oprócz wynagrodzenia możecie również liczyć na stypendium. A to stypendium jest dosyć duże, bo wynosi około 3300 zł, więc plus do tego wynagrodzenie, stawka godzinowa około 50 zł za godzinę. Jak szybko to pomnożycie i dodacie, to widzicie, że tak naprawdę te koszty są stosunkowo niewielkie w porównaniu do tego, co można zarobić i jeszcze otrzymać stypendium. No dobrze, to by było taki wstęp ode mnie. Teraz myślę, że śmiało mogę zaprosić już naszego studenta, Finn, if you could take
Yep.
over from here. So yeah, your presentation is on. So I'll mute myself and go ahead. I'll leave the guys with you for the next half an hour, and I'll be joining everyone later on after you will finish. Okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Perfect. Good luck then.
Thanks. Hi, so now you have a brief introduction to some of the formalities, and now I will hopefully give you some insightful information regarding the University of Southern Denmark. This is the university. I will show you some pictures later on, but you can see this is our cozy little campus that I will try to tell you about. So first, something about myself. I'm Finn. I think we said that earlier. I'm 25 years old, and I am from Hamburg in Germany. And this is also where I started a technical study at the Technical University of Hamburg-Harburg. But I stopped doing that and changed my course of studies to Denmark. So as I think I got that between the lines of the earlier part of the presentation, sometimes you don't go the right way immediately, but that works out just fine. So I've been in the position that things were a bit different than I initially planned to, and I hope that I can maybe help you with providing you some extra information that I wish I had earlier when I was at this point. I usually live in Sonneborg, which is where the university is, but due to COVID, I'm currently in Hamburg because crossing the border is not as easy anymore. And as you can see, I work for the university, but I also work as a software developer for a local company, Linak. I don't know whether you've heard about it. They make these tables that go up and down. A bit more about my interests. I'm a very techie guy, which is not that common for my course of studies. I like to tinker around with computers and all kinds of technical things. So you have maybe an idea what I like doing. So regarding the University of Southern Denmark, you can see that it's in the southern part of Denmark, hence the name. There's 6 campuses spread around the southern part. The main campus is in Odense, and then the smaller campuses are around the other towns in Denmark. We have 32,000 students. Most of them are in Odense, and we have quite a lot international students spread around all these campuses. What is maybe particularly relevant for you is that there's no tuition fee for EU citizens, which is something nice to know before applying for something like that. Now coming to our campus in Sonneborg, we are the most international campus. We have more than 50% international students. Some of them are, of course, from Germany, which are technically from another country. But as you can see, the border is quite close. It's less than half an hour drive. So maybe that number is a bit inflated, but I could argue that at least 1/3 is from all over the world. We have 14 courses in English. There's only courses in English at the campus. And it's a very family-like campus there because earlier I mentioned those 32,000 students. I think 25,000 are in Odense, and we are about, I don't know, 1,500 maybe. So it's a lot more like family. My courses are usually in groups with 20, 25-ish people, and even the bigger courses, especially from the business courses, they are sometimes 50, but that's the absolute max. And also the campus is quite new, as you can maybe see in the next picture. This is the campus, and because you can't really go there right now, I try to give you some pictures here so you can envision how it is like. The right part of the building is not the university. That's another higher educational institute that's in the same house. We have a startup space there and some shared facilities, but we are mostly on the left of this central glass block, which is our canteen. And this is actually an older picture because just last year we opened a new block to the left of the building, which is exactly one of these blocks just basically copy pasted to the left for our electronics course of studies, where we expanded our facilities. It is quite nice to be in such a modern campus. We have some trees in there. There's a lot of glass, and that helps in Denmark, where it's not sunny most of the time. So you need all the light. Sorry, my headphones turned off. Yeah, so it is quite nice to be there because you feel really free, and this whole place is very open. That can be annoying at times when you're having exams and everybody can peek through the glass, but most of the time that helps that you always feel included at the campus life. So down there, that's our canteen. The red block there, this is mostly for externals to have their meetings, but sometimes we go in there as well. And behind us is where we usually have our classrooms, which are not typical classrooms. They're more like small conference rooms because we are not that many people. Today, I will talk about the engineering courses. The courses that we offer at this campus are engineering, innovation, and business, electronics, and mechatronics. Earlier on the slides, there were two others. I think it was software development and the drone course. Those are, to my knowledge, both offered in Odense. I will touch mostly on these three and give you a brief introduction, because I think most of you are very familiar with what mechatronics and electronics is. And that's why I will hopefully provide you some more insights to engineering, innovation, and business, which is what I'm studying. Just to clarify, this was formerly called innovation and business, and I sometimes don't get that name correct. So please don't be confused if I mix it around a bit. So I think electronics, you have a good understanding of what they're doing, and mechatronics, that's mostly where you connect physical and electronical parts. And what we are doing in engineering, innovation, and business is we only have a small part of engineering, which is kind of collected of what mechatronics and electronics is doing. But then we complement it with some innovation and some business courses so that we are less the techie guys, but more the guys who can communicate between departments, but who can also maybe be a bit more creative on how to apply that. So how does that look like? Maybe you have heard, one more thing, because I can see the chat, but unfortunately, if it's not in English, I cannot come back to that. So if it's really pressing and it fits in with my presentation, I will have a look and try to include it, but then you have to write it in English. But we have a Q&A session later on where I'm gladly answering most of these questions. Is that okay?
I also mentioned in the chat that's in Polish that if some questions will be more directed to you, or the attendees would like to hear your opinion, I've just asked them to write in English, and those questions that are already in Polish, I will try to translate to English, of course. Yeah. So,
okay. But
good point.
Most of the questions we will answer in the Q&A session, but if there's something that is really relevant right as I speak, then of course you can write it and I will try to have a look at it and try to answer it.
Super, that's good.
So maybe to give you a better understanding of what we are doing is the Industry 4.0 technologies is the big buzzword that we often hear in our course of studies. And you can see these technologies, if you're not familiar with them, they are listed here. This is what we talk about, but also deal with in our course of studies. And we try to find ways how we can apply these technologies to some real world problems and potentially solve them. So the focus of SDU at our campus is mostly robotics, augmented reality, additive manufacturing, but also IoT and simulation. And we just introduced a course for big data analysis, which is now part of the curriculum as well. So the upper right corner, I would say, is not exactly what we're doing here, but we also talk about the theory at least. So on the one hand, we learn about these technologies, and on the other hand, we try to find creative ways on how we can use these to solve some problems from the industry. And for that, we have some relevant partners from the industry as well. So Linac, for example, my company, but also Danfoss, maybe you heard about them. They make these thermostats on your heater. But sometimes we even work together with Lego and other bigger companies that have problems which they approach us with, and then within a semester we try to provide them with a solution to that problem. For all of this, we have quite some facilities at our university. Here you can see what I like to call the igloo. This red box represents our most creative room, where we have all kinds of technology surrounding us so that we can brainstorm. In this room, we have a VR lab where we can work with and test out virtual and augmented reality. We also have 3D printers. Those are in the basement. We have soon a simulation lab, which is dedicated only for plant simulation. This is something that I've been working with a lot as well. We have some collaborative robots within that workspace as well. And in addition to that, we have an electronical and mechanical workshop in the basement where we can make all kinds of things for our projects ourselves. So soldering irons, making PCBs, or having like a CNC machine in the basement that we can use. The facilities you gain access to throughout your studies. So depending on your level of expertise, I would say. So for example, I've been working with simulation and VR. So my professors, they gave me access to those labs, and I am allowed to go there 24/7, except for the Corona, of course. Right now, the whole campus is locked down. So all of the things that I say right now, of course, assume that the campus will be opened again. So maybe to guide you through one of the projects, I had a hard time finding one because I'm not sure whether we are allowed to disclose all the projects that we worked with. So what I picked here is a project that I worked on the side with one of my professors, which was a simulation case. So just to give you an idea, because this could be a semester project as well, a company approaches us and tells us they have this production line and they think about employing a robot at this place. But they are not sure whether that is valuable to them and what kind of layout they would need for that. So what we did is we provided a layout for them and we did a whole simulation of this setup, and we extracted the cycle times and made them a return of investment chart, which showed them, hey, if you have one robot, this is what it would look like. If you have two robots, this is what it would look like. And if you share the work between a human and a robot, this is a third scenario that we can provide you with. So this is something that we would do in our semesters, and it ranges from, in this case, simulation. Sometimes we have to build a prototype for them. Sometimes it's just an app. That also depends a bit on what you would like to do in your group. What is also interesting is in the third semester, so your second year of the master, you have the opportunity to specialize because you can pick what you want to do in your third semester for 15 ECTS, so half of that semester. You can either decide to have an extended I'm really sorry. I don't know why it keeps turning off. You can decide to have an extended thesis, which means that instead of having 30 ECTS in your last semester, you already start working on your thesis. This is when you want to go into into a PhD position, maybe later on. You can decide to work within a company where you basically have one of these projects that I talked about earlier within a company. Then you can decide to just continue with electives where you kind of handpick what you would like to do in that semester, or you can do an entrepreneurial training where you have the opportunity to develop your own startup. What I did, or what I planned to do initially, was to do an extended master thesis, but unfortunately the professor I worked with, he left the university because of having a child. So I had to change my plans quite abruptly, and I decided to do the entrepreneurial training with two of my classmates. And that's been a lot of fun. We've been working with the incubator of the university and developed like a technology for sports tracking, which we are still working with, and I will write my master thesis about it. We were supported by the university, and we were also able to receive some funding, which we used to acquire some of the hardware that we need. And I can strongly recommend that you should at least consider it, especially when you think you have a great idea that you would like to work with, maybe in more of a safe space while you are still studying. So now that I've talked a bit about the actual studies, I will talk a bit about the study life. And the three main points I would say are the housing, the financing, and the student life. Because I think most of you are not currently in Denmark. So it is good for you to know that as soon as you are accepted at the university, you have a guaranteed dorm space. So you just have to send them the proof of your acceptance, and you will have a dormitory space by the start of the semester. And I think that's really great, especially when you are a bit short term, like I was when I moved to Denmark, that you don't have to worry about that. I am not very familiar with property prices where you live, so I can only give you a guideline. So housing starts from, I would say, 300. I think it's 280 for the cheapest, up to I think 480, depending on what kind of flat you would like to have. So the smallest ones, they have a shared kitchen but their own bathroom. Then the next bigger one, they have their own kitchen and bathroom. And then the final ones, they have an extra room. So depending on what you would like, you pay, of course, a bit more. The one at the bottom is the one where I actually lived when I moved in. And that's a bit further away. And I can strongly recommend that you also start to live in a dorm when you just arrive in Sonneborg, because this is also a great place to meet your fellow students and to socialize, especially when you don't know anyone. This is great because you can get some contacts even before the semester starts. And also, I never felt the urge to move somewhere else. In fact, I only moved around in the dorms, and I moved to the newer dorm right next to the university on the other side of the river. And that was because I had to move out because of my semester abroad. And then I just couldn't find a place in the old one, so I decided to go into the new one. And I've been living there all the time, and I can just strongly recommend it because it's a worry-free environment. You pay that fee once a month, and then you don't have to worry about internet, telephone, all of that. That is kind of covered within the rent. And you also have a janitor who can help you out if you accidentally break something. Now we come to financing, because maybe some of you, I think I saw it pop up. It's always good to know how you can make ends meet when you go abroad. Maybe first of all, I will start with the yellow card. That is conveniently named after a yellow card that you get when you enter Denmark. On this, you will have a number which is kind of your personal registration number, and this provides you with free health insurance in Denmark. And I think that's a good starting point, that you don't have to worry about that. The Danish state has you covered, so you can go. You can go see a doctor for free, and you don't have to worry about that. And I think that's a good starting point. But then it also comes to financing your actual studies. So there are quite a few student jobs, especially for the more technical courses, because they know a bit better what you can provide them with. Most of these jobs, they are offered through STU's Job Bank, which is an online platform where they kind of post new job entries, and you can browse it and apply for these jobs. And this is how I got both of my jobs. I know a lot of people, they are more active on LinkedIn and other platforms, but I used STU's Job Bank, and I was quite successful with it. STU also provides you with some counseling if you need help going over your CV and stuff like that. And I would say that if you really want to look for a job, you will find one. Of course, if you are just getting started, maybe you won't immediately get a relevant job for your studies, but I also know a lot of friends who work in cafes and things like that, or in the hotel right next to my dormitory, for example. Of course, it helps to speak Danish, but it's not nowhere necessary to find a relevant job. For example, I still cannot speak sufficient Danish, but I work at a company, and that's not an issue at all. What is also good to know is if you can work 10 to 12 hours a week, you are eligible for a fund from Denmark for their students, which is like a flat amount you get per month for your studies. This is kind of a exception rule, because when you work this amount of hours, you are counted as an EU employee and thereby are eligible as well. Then you basically get that extra money on top of the money you get for your job. And that can be quite attractive for people who have to finance their studying activities. But I do have to warn you that 10 to 12 hours is quite a lot of work, especially when you're doing a full-time master studies. So what I know some people do, and I've also been doing that, is that you work these 10 and 12 hours during the semester breaks, and then you save up that money to finance the rest of the year. But I also know that it is possible to find like a good agreement with your employee to get these 10 to 12 hours. Usually your courses of studies will offer you one day off, which is dedicated for you if you want to work. So they try to at least help you with that. Then to Sonneborg itself, here's a nice picture where the sun was shining. But I don't know where you're from, but I can tell you immediately that Sonneborg is not a big town. So if you like to have a lot of things going on and many people in the streets, then maybe Sonneborg is not great for you. But it is a very lovely town, and because of the university, it is a very lively town as well. So you will be able to find many outdoor activities. There's many restaurants and cafes, and there's a lot of sports clubs, because believe me or not, Sonneborg is the biggest town in the southern part of Denmark, in that area. So many of the people from around actually meet in Sonneborg to do sports and go to restaurants and stuff. We also have some events where we introduce the local sports clubs, and usually everybody finds something that they like to do. We also have a university bar in the university itself. I was also an active member of that. That's every Friday. That's quite common in Denmark, and that's also a great opportunity for you to meet your fellow students and have it in a more informal setting and having a beer together. I can also strongly recommend that you go there if you are just getting started, because you will be introduced to everyone at the university, and that's always great. On top of that, we also have an intro team. We are dedicated to showing you around in your first month at the university. We host a variety of different events. Usually it's, again, to give with a grain of salt, because right now it's quite hard to host any events, but we are very busy in trying to find solutions either way. And we will make sure that you are shown around the town, university, and also get in contact with your fellow students. Sorry, but that's actually my final slide. So thank you for your attention, and I will try to answer the rest of the questions in the Q&A session. And now we'll hand it back to you.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Finn. That is correct. We have quite a few questions now, and we'll get back to them really shortly. Now we'll just switch to the other slide, which I want to use, and I will try to wrap things up. ale w sumie mogę to zrobić już w języku polskim. Sporo pytań się pojawia, więc postaram się podsumować dosłownie w kilka minut, tak żeby jak najwięcej czasu zostało nam na pytania, żebyśmy mogli odpowiedzieć na najwięcej Waszych pytań. Jeżeli chodzi o rekrutację na studia w Danii, to prowadzimy ją kompleksowo, takie jest nasze hasło i to jest jak najbardziej prawda. Zarówno jeżeli chodzi o studia pierwszego, jak i na studia drugiego stopnia, to co musicie tylko pamiętać to to, że tą rekrutację prowadzimy właśnie dla tych uczelni, jeżeli będziecie rekrutować się na te uczelnie, z którymi współpracujemy, a w przypadku uczelni SDU tylko na te wybrane kierunki. Natomiast to, o czym dzisiaj mówimy, ma oczywiście zastosowanie do całej uczelni SDU i ewentualnie, jeżeli nie znajdziecie na uczelni SDU kierunków, jakimi jesteście akurat zainteresowani, to większość tych informacji też ma zastosowanie do innych uczelni, które oferują w Danii studia drugiego stopnia w języku angielskim. Jeżeli chodzi o to, kiedy aplikować i kiedy można rozpocząć studia, studia w Danii mogą rozpoczynać się 2 razy do roku, tak jak to jest w Polsce po wakacjach. Studia w Danii mogą rozpoczynać się troszeczkę wcześniej, bo raczej na początku września, zwłaszcza jeżeli chodzi o pierwszy rok studiów. Natomiast niektóre kierunki rozpoczynają się również w tym kolejnym semestrze, czyli gdzieś na przełomie stycznia i lutego. Całkiem niedawno w sumie niektóre kierunki również się rozpoczynały. Jeżeli chodzi o terminy rekrutacji, są one indywidualnie. Teraz przed nami jest ten najbliższy termin rekrutacji, jeżeli chodzi o studia drugiego stopnia i my przyjmujemy Wasze aplikacje w terminie do 20 lutego, więc niecały miesiąc nam jeszcze został. Wynika to z tego, że aplikując razem z nami, chcemy, żebyście wspólnie razem z nami zgromadzili wszystkie dokumenty, które są niezbędne. Potrzebujemy zawsze chwilki, żeby też z Wami je dopracować, finalnie, żeby później je sprawdzić, a na sam koniec, najpóźniej 1 marca, te dokumenty muszą być już do dyspozycji uczelni. Stąd, jeżeli będziecie aplikować na jakąś uczelnię w Danii, to studia drugiego stopnia wszędzie będziecie widzieli datę 1 marca, aplikując z naszą pomocą kilka dni wcześniej, więc 20 luty to jest ta data, kiedy potrzebujemy mieć wgląd w Wasze dokumenty, żeby później móc sfinalizować wspólnie z Wami aplikację rekrutacyjną na studia drugiego stopnia na uczelnię SDU. Jeżeli chodzi o to, jakie dokumenty są potrzebne, jest to w miarę uniwersalne na każdą uczelnię. Oczywiście ma to zastosowanie na pewno do uczelni SDU. Potrzebujecie takich podstawowych dokumentów jak dokument tożsamości, czyli dowód osobisty albo paszport, zdjęcie. W zależności od tego, czy już ukończyliście studia, czy aktualnie jesteście na ostatnim roku, semestrze, to albo Wasz dyplom i suplement do dyplomu. Jeżeli dysponujecie tymi dokumentami w języku angielskim wystawionymi przez uczelnię, to najlepiej by tak właśnie było. I może być to tłumaczenie od tłumacza przysięgłego, bądź też tłumaczenie, które chociażby wykonujecie samodzielnie, ale jest potwierdzone przez uczelnię. Więc 3 możliwości, jeżeli chodzi o dyplom ukończenia studiów i suplement do dyplomu. Jeżeli jeszcze nie posiadacie tych dokumentów, czyli dopiero kończycie studia, wówczas potrzebny jest transkrypt z przebiegu studiów z tych semestrów, które są już za Wami, oraz taki dokument informujący, co w ostatnim semestrze jeszcze Was czeka, jakie przedmioty, liczba godzin, forma zajęć, liczba punktów ECTS. Na transkrypcie i na dokumencie dotyczącym przyszłego semestru te informacje muszą się znaleźć. Potrzebny jest również opis kierunku studiów. Jeżeli już macie suplement do dyplomu, to zazwyczaj ten opis właśnie tam się znajduje. Jeżeli nie macie suplementu, to taki dokument czasami na stronie internetowej uczelni już są gotowe dokumenty i można je pobrać. Czasami trzeba poprosić o taki dokument w dziekanacie. Taki dokument jest potrzebny. Tak samo jeżeli chodzi o opis skali oceniania, na suplemencie do dyplomu też te informacje będą. Jeżeli tego nie macie, poprosić musicie na uczelni. Uczelnie powinny już posiadać taką informację. W języku angielskim oczywiście docelowo jest to potrzebne. A jeżeli chodzi o znajomość języka angielskiego, to można to zrobić zasadniczo na 2 sposoby. Każda uczelnia w Danii na pewno będzie akceptować jeden z międzynarodowych certyfikatów z języka angielskiego typu TOEFL, IELTS, bądź też certyfikaty cambridge'owskie Advanced albo Proficiency, czyli te certyfikaty typu Cambridge ASOL. Jeżeli już dysponujecie wynikiem, no to jakby certyfikatem samym to jest to idealnie. Jeżeli jeszcze nie dysponujecie, ale na przykład macie wynik, a czekacie na sam certyfikat, to oczywiście też jest to uznawane. Większość uczelni, i tak również jest w przypadku uczelni SDU, umożliwia Wam w terminie składania aplikacji jedynie zasygnalizowanie kwestii, że taki certyfikat otrzymacie, czyli jesteście zapisani na egzamin i taki dokument załączacie, natomiast później możecie dosłać jakby do uczelni już swój wynik przed ogłoszeniem wyników rekrutacji. Natomiast uczelnia SDU ma taką świetną możliwość, bo tak naprawdę znajomość języka angielskiego może zostać zweryfikowana nie na podstawie certyfikatu z języka angielskiego, a na podstawie waszego programu nauczania języka angielskiego w szkole ponadgimnazjalnej, w szkole średniej, więc tak naprawdę wystarczy mieć odpowiednią liczbę godzin z języka angielskiego. Chodzi dokładnie o 280 lekcji w ciągu 3 lat nauki, więc jeżeli ktoś ewentualnie chodził do technikum, to 3 ostatnie lata się liczą. I jeżeli ktoś miał taką liczbę godzin, nie potrzebuje mieć żadnego certyfikatu z języka angielskiego. I mogą być też jeszcze wymagane dodatkowe dokumenty typu list motywacyjny, referencje, CV. Często zależy to od kierunku, od uczelni, więc tak to wygląda. Więc jak widzicie, i to też widziałem jakieś pytania, więc już powoli zaczynamy na nie odpowiadać przy okazji. Znajomość języka angielskiego, sposób potwierdzenia tej znajomości tak naprawdę zależy od uczelni. Uczelnia SDU, dzięki temu, że my ją reprezentujemy tutaj w Polsce, umożliwia trochę elastyczniejsze podejście do tego tematu. Aplikując na SDU certyfikatu międzynarodowego nie musicie posiadać i dzięki temu też troszeczkę jesteście w stanie zaoszczędzić na wydatkach w trakcie rekrutacji, ponieważ międzynarodowe certyfikaty są oczywiście odpłatne. Też zasygnalizuję taką kwestię, że zaraz po złożeniu aplikacji na studia, i dotyczy to każdej uczelni w Danii, trzeba zacząć rozglądać się za zakwaterowaniem. Jest to bardzo ważna kwestia. My oczywiście wszystkim kandydatom aplikującym razem z nami w aplikowaniu o zakwaterowanie również w pełni kompleksowo pomagamy i zawsze to udaje się oczywiście pozytywnie. Na wszelki wypadek, jeżeli ewentualnie nie uda nam się odpowiedzieć na jakieś pytania, albo jeszcze jakieś pytania Wam się urodzą po dzisiejszym webinarze, to możecie zadawać je na przeróżne sposoby. Jeżeli chcielibyście się skontaktować bezpośrednio ze mną, to podaję Wam swoje dane kontaktowe. Ja akurat zajmuję się rekrutacją, między innymi właśnie na studia magisterskie na uczelni SDU, więc tutaj jestem w stanie Wam w tych kwestiach pomóc. No i doszliśmy do tego momentu, kiedy chcemy odpowiedzieć na Wasze pytania. Mamy ich dosyć dużo, część w języku polskim, część w języku angielskim, więc za chwilkę sobie zaczniemy je wyświetlać i będziemy próbować na nie odpowiadać. W międzyczasie też zaproszę Fina, żeby się odmutował. Finn, we'll be starting the Q&A session, so if you could unmute yourself and we'll try to handle all of the questions that we have already. I see they keep popping up, some new ones. So you're keeping us busy, guys. But that's really good. We are happy that you have so many questions. Okay, so the first question is about the language requirements. I think I answered this question already. So regarding applying for SDU, you either need IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge with the required score. If you don't want to take those exams, you can apply using the hours that you had for English language in your upper secondary education, means your high school, so in Polish liceum or technicum. And you need 280 lessons of 45 minutes in the last 4 years of your studies at liceum or technicum, and you're good to go without a language certificate. So I handled that, if that's okay with you, Finn.
Of course. I can also say I did the same. I didn't do a test. I just had the signed hours of English, and that worked for me. So I can recommend doing that.
Yeah, it saves some money for sure, and less stress. Okay, let's hit the next question. Yeah, I think this is. I'll translate it. It's about SU and how to get it. If you could say something more about this, Finn.
Of course. So SU you get usually as a student in Denmark, but as you are not a Danish citizen, you can only apply for it if you are an employee, and that means that you are working regularly 10 to 12 hours a week. So usually what they say as a rule of thumb, if you are able to work more than 41 hours a week, a month, then you are eligible for this SU. But you have to work in a continuous period of 3 months or more to get that money. So you can't just work 1 month and then be 1 month off, but you have to do it in 3 consecutive months. And the university will help you with the application, and it's a lot of paperwork, but it works.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have nothing to add. You did it perfect. Okay, so the next question. For someone who is already taking a master degree in Poland, can he or she apply for a master program also in Denmark, having already the master from Poland? Do you know something about that? I think I know, but maybe you're better informed.
Not certain. I know that in Denmark, your second master degree might not be free. So I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I wanted to ask you if you know something better. That's the same what I know. So definitely, if you took a master in Denmark and you want to take another master in Denmark, it will not be free, as far as I know. And Martina, you can always reach out to me and we can double check that. But as far as I know, if you will graduate with a master degree from Poland and you would like to take another master degree in Denmark, it will still be free for you. But since you already will have a master degree, even if it's from Poland, you'll have a bit of less chances of being admitted. So basically, those who with everything else, they score the same as you, but they don't have a master degree yet, they will have more chances than you of being admitted to a master program in Denmark. So, okay, so the next thing is also about the language requirements. We answered that one. So just to remind you, it's the hours from your upper secondary education, so lyceum or technicum, that count. The language course that you had on your bachelor program is not taken into consideration. This is something specific for them. The next question is about the choice of study programs. So currently Magdalena is studying Polish language. So at SDU, there are also other study programs which are taught in English, which are not necessarily engineering. I can post a link to the chat. So there you have the full list of master programs at SDU in English. And if you're more into humanities, you might also find something interesting for you. Okay, let's try with the next question. It's also regarding some other study programs, not necessarily engineering. So have a look at the link that I just provided in the chat. And we can check the next question.
Just real quick, most of these courses will be on the main campus in Odense, just because most of the courses are there.
And the next question of Patricia is also regarding something connected with biotechnology. So also you can check out the link provided. And let's have a look at the next question. Medical, biotechnical, yes, there are. And again, it's the same link. Okay. The next question is about the knowledge of English language. So is B2 enough? And if someone is not sure about, speaking and writing, is it hard at the beginning? I think this is a good question for you, Finn.
Yeah, so I have to tell you from the very get-go that most of the people taking this education, they are not native speakers. So in the beginning, everybody struggles a bit to learn the, I would say, vocabulary that you need to operate in the field that you're, studying. But usually after, I would say, the first semester, everybody is confident enough to just deal with it. And I mean, most of our hand-ins are written on computer anyways, so you can enjoy the benefits of autocorrect and stuff like that. And your fellow students are also happy to help you out.
Good point. Yep. I think that's a really fair answer. Okay, we can.
And you learn it really fast if you speak it all day. So it's really a good idea to go abroad then, because you will definitely improve your English significantly.
For sure. I observed this among the students that we help to apply as well. So good point. The next question is also a question regarding different study programs. So again, I can have a look at the link. And a question from Patricia about accommodation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I answered that in my presentation, but be aware that I don't know the details about the other campuses. So if you want to go to Odense, it's a bit different because it's a bigger city than Sonneborn.
Yeah. In most, I mean, in all cities in Denmark, you can always apply for student accommodation.
Yes.
And many of the cities currently also have an accommodation guaranteed for the students starting their first semester if they are originally not located within the zip code of the university of the city. It's not the case for all the cities, but many cities have that, and Sonneborn as well.
Yeah, I meant mostly the price. It's more expensive when you go to the bigger cities. That's what I meant.
For sure. Yeah. B2, is it enough?
Definitely. And you will most likely improve to almost B1 while you are there. So.
Yeah, and it also is matching the requirements on the language certificates. The scores that are required, they correspond to this B2 C1 level. It varies, something like that. Landscape, architectural, environment protection. You can have a look to the link. Maybe I will post one more link as well. If you will not find a study program that you're looking for, you can always go to the main website, which is studyindenmark.dk. Then there you will find a list of all master study programs in English in Denmark, and then you will just need to contact the university in question and see what are the requirements and what is the admissions requirements and the procedure as well.
For this specific one, I do in fact know that there is one offered at the university in Copenhagen. Good.
You're well informed.
A friend went there, so.
All right. First-hand information. That's the best. Yeah, I think this one is perfect for you as well.
Good. I think that really depends on the company, of course, but as a rule of thumb, official language is English, and all the unofficial talking, I would say, is in Danish. So whenever you go to the canteen, people will speak Danish, and in the break room, you are also encouraged to speak Danish. But most people are considerate and will switch to English as soon as they find someone who is not capable of understanding them.
I share the same kind of experience. So yeah, in many companies in Denmark, the business language is actually in English. So you do all of your job related tasks, emails and stuff like that, meetings in English. But then at lunchtime, or you're having just a chit chat next to the coffee machine, people tend to like speaking in Danish, if they are Danish, of course. Yeah. Okay, we have a question that was asked on Facebook. So hopefully the person who asked it is still looking at the live stream and hearing us. Yeah, how about this question? Was it hard for you at the beginning?
I was a bit lucky, I would say, because both of my jobs really require no Danish, because I make advertisement outside of Denmark and I work in software development where you use English anyways. But I do know that some jobs, specifically when it's less relevant for your course of studies, like working in a hotel and stuff like that, you should at least speak some basic Danish to, get your way around. But I wouldn't say it's impossible to find a job without knowing Danish at all in the beginning. It's maybe a bit harder, but you should find something.
Yeah, we see this also with the other students that we've met, been helping throughout the years. That it's if you're determined, like with everything, if you're determined, even though you can't speak Danish at all at the beginning, you'll manage to find something. Yeah, and then you can always switch to another position, of course. Just one thing, I see the clock and it's 6 o'clock, so we've passed 1 hour for our webinar. We have still some more questions to go. If that's okay with you, Finn, and with you guys, we'll extend a bit, try to answer all your questions. So if Finn, you can stay for a little longer.
Yeah, of course.
All right, super. We can do it this way. And guys, if you need to jump out, you will get the recording of the webinar. So you will manage to see the last answers to the questions. If you can hang on for a while we will be answering those last questions, that would be super, and we'll address those now. Okay, so we'll continue then. What about the next question? It's somehow connected. Perfect.
It's connected, but it's quite different. But
yeah.
I would say the same thing applies to the entire setting in Denmark. So, for example, my fellow students, if the Danes meet up, they will speak Danish. But as soon as somebody joins them that doesn't, they will speak English. And it's kind of a unwritten law that you don't exclude anyone, so you always speak English. But I think as soon as you start going, for example, into a sports club or you start working, things like that, then you will require more and more Danish, because that's just how you can exist in the social life. But be aware that there's so many international students that you will always find people who speak English with you.
And you can also take a Danish language course during your studies. Yes, you don't need to take it necessarily from day one. You can have that in after the second semester, for example, and it's still going to be for free. There were some changes over the past years, so you can find different information about that on the internet. But the current situation is that the Danish language courses are again for free for international students in Denmark. Yes, of course, you may. And just have a look at the 2 links that are provided. One is the listing of the master programs at SDU and the general website for English studies in English in Denmark. That's the second link, and you'll be good to go. So this is just a remark, so we can have the next question. Okay. Yeah.
I think
this can be for you, or more or less.
As I said, we have a kind of online Blackboard where job offerings are posted. There's also physical Blackboards in the university where projects from the companies are kind of pinned to, and you can apply to that. And as I said, you will have counseling within the university as well. They will help you look at your CV and prepare your application.
Okay.
Maybe it's also good to know, most of the time you get jobs by knowing someone who knows someone, and I think that's everywhere. So keep an eye out for people who already work at a company, and maybe they know of a position that is now free and they will let you know, things like that. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I think that's everywhere now. So networking is like really important. That's true.
Regarding this, yes, that is in fact the case. You will lose that scholarship immediately, but it's not bound to your job. So, for example, if you lose your job and then you find another job that also provides you with 40 hours a month, then you are still eligible and you don't have to reapply or anything. Just keep in mind that this will also be done retrospectively. So, for example, if you didn't tell them that you lost your job and you got that SU money for 2 months, you will have to pay it back. And that can be quite some money if you already spend it. So please be careful with that because they will find out.
Perfect. Yeah, again, check out the links, please. Yeah. The next one. Yeah, it's a question like if that's going to be a university with which we don't work with, will it be harder? Well, in a way, the language requirements may be an issue here because not necessarily you will be able to apply just having your language course from your lyceum or technicum. Maybe you will need the official English language certificate. And then, of course, you are missing all our expertise in and help regarding gathering all the documents, preparing them to actually match the requirements of the university. We are pretty well informed about what is needed, how it should be prepared, and stuff like that. And later on, how it will be screened by the admissions at SDU. And this is because SDU would like to have straight away well qualified and well prepared applicants. So you're gonna miss just that.
But I also didn't apply through any kind of institution, so it is possible, and I can encourage you that in Denmark it's a bit, they are usually friendly if you ask them nicely. So don't let that hold you back if you have your dream course of study somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this webinar, it's hopefully kind of an eye-opener. We have our example, and we have SDU, and we have your testimonial film, but it's all about encouraging people to actually try to apply, not necessarily to SDU, not necessarily with our help, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, about different study programs. Again, this will be the links that I provided in the chat already. Regarding the language certificates, it's up to you. Which one do you want to take? IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge? Those are all accepted by universities in Denmark. They all have their things. And some people prefer some certificate and someone else will prefer something else. So try, if you want to take it, for example, you just want it or you don't have enough lessons of English language from your upper secondary education and you anyhow must take it, just have a look at those certificates, how well they look like, and you'll find out what is better for you. Regarding if you don't have it, you should sign up for an exam, and you must have the documents proving that you're already signed up for an exam, and this document must be made available to the university when you are applying. So you attach it as one of the attachments to your application, and then you just registered for exact date when you want to take it. Currently, with the coronavirus, they are, available online, so you can take them from home. You will be supervised by a person, so you'll have like your camera on, you'll be sharing your screen and stuff like that. So, but you can take it from home as well, and you sign up whatever is suitable for you based on the dates that they propose and the hours during their work hours. So if the question is about studies at SDU, is it for free? And we can definitely confirm that there is no tuition fee if you are a Polish citizen or you have a citizenship from any EU, European Union country. you study for free. You just need to pay for your costs of living. Regarding the number of hours, is 280 from English language from the last 3 years of your upper secondary education. 280, that's lessons, so 45 minutes. That counts as 210 hours of 60 minutes. That's the requirement at SDU. Yeah, again, master studies humanities, SDU have them as well, and yeah, just look at the links that I provided on the chat. And the next question. Is it possible to sum the hours of English from upper secondary education and university studies? The official rule is it's the last 3 years of your upper secondary education. So your whole lyceum, 3 years, or the last 3 years of your technicum. That's the official. Sometimes, you know, the university may say yes, but then I would encourage you, if you're missing some hours, I would encourage you to contact me, and we can investigate on this together with the university, have a kind of a pre-assessment. Yeah, B2, we already answered that one. Yeah, the answer for this is B2 as well. If someone doesn't have a language certificate but currently is studying in English language in Poland, you don't need a language certificate if you can, if you have this 280 lessons in your lyceum or technicum. But the course of studying, the language of your studies, if it's in Poland, it's not taken into consideration. So the university will look at either the hours from your lyceum or technicum or the language certificate. So the question is, does the bachelor program needs to match the master program? And is it hard to get in?
I think I can answer that by,
I can answer part one if you will feel better with that. And regarding part two, I think this is a great question for you to answer.
Yeah.
You want to start first? Go ahead.
Yeah, so regarding hard to get in, so usually what the university really wants to see is that you're motivated. So as far as I'm concerned, the first part is that you meet the requirements. The second part is your motivation. And they usually have a motivational letter where they want to see that you really want to do this course of studies. And that's becoming more common in the application process. So I would say if you fulfill the requirements and you are motivated, you have a really good chance of being admitted.
Yeah, and regarding the first part of the question, yes, somehow your bachelor program needs to match the master program. Maybe not regarding the title, more regarding the program. So usually the admission requirement for master studies in Denmark will be somehow connected with your with the program of your bachelor studies, and the university will look into what kind of courses you had on your bachelor program, and how many hours, so how many ECTS points. And for example, in the admission requirements, it will say that and that much points of, I don't know, programming or economics or whatever, and you'll have 1 or 2, 3, 4, maybe more of those kind of requirements regarding the courses, and then it will mean that you're allowed to apply for a master program. Okay, I hope we are coming to an end because we extended quite long. We have this saying of academic 15 minutes, and we're really close to that. So hopefully we'll manage to finish. I still see some people still with us, so thanks guys for that. Can you take an Erasmus exchange if you're a student at SDU?
Yes, many people did that. It's usually done in the 3rd semester.
Perfect.
I went to Italy, for example.
Oh, great. I did not know. Yeah. So if you done two bachelor programs in Poland, as far as I understand that is the case, you can still apply for your master program in Denmark, and it's gonna be for free as well.
Yeah, I think we answered that. Really don't be concerned about it, because you will learn it the more you apply it. And yeah, just don't be let down in the beginning. If you feel overwhelmed, you will get used to it real quick.
Kasper is actually asking about also that he's currently in high school. So Kasper, be sure to check out the other webinar we have for tomorrow. We'll also have a student, actually he's a Polish student studying at SDU, and he's studying on a bachelor program. So if you're interested in bachelor studies, be sure to check out the other webinar that is tomorrow. And also for all of you who are maybe already, finished or finishing your bachelor here in Poland, and maybe you don't necessarily think you want to continue in the same field of studies, you want to switch maybe to something else, be sure to attend also tomorrow, because in Denmark there are also those kind of short-term programs of 2 years, where you can actually change your future job career, and then you don't necessarily need to go in the exact same field as your current bachelor program. Yeah, so that's tomorrow, and more information on our website and on the Facebook event, of course. Yeah, we've answered that already. So you can take another master degree in Denmark, and probably it's going to be for free. You can contact me just to double check that, but then you'll have a bit of less chances in order to apply. Yeah, architectural, interior design. Check out the links, please. Regarding Agata's questions, I think we've answered that. So yes, it must be somehow connected, and the courses you had on your bachelor will somehow determine which master programs you are able to choose afterwards.
Yeah, we answered that.
It's for free, Kasper. Oh. Yeah, if you're Polish or EU citizen. Regarding our help with SDU study programs, only those that are listed at the beginning, they're also listed on our website, and I'll just paste them in the chat. So those are the study programs, master study programs that can help you to apply to SDU. You can contact me, Severin, Monday to Friday. That would be the best. If you'll write me an email during weekends, I will answer that. Usually also during the weekend, maybe not necessary. I will be able to pick up always my phone on the weekend, but you can always try that. The phone is more like Monday to Friday. Okay, so if the bottom line answering this question, Carolina, is you need to finish your okay, it's about the master, sorry. I think you should reach out to me. I don't want to say, probably it's going to be for free still anyhow, but you can always write me an email. I think that will be easier. Finn?
So it's first I answer the second one. There's going to be presentations like this most likely every year. I'm finishing my course of studies, so it's probably going to be someone else. But you can always reach out through this portal or through me, and I can refer you to other new students. How to best prepare? I think if you consider going into an engineering degree, I think it's great when you have some kind of expertise in something that fascinates you by yourself, so that you have a motivation to learn it. So for example, I always like to play around with electronical things, and I did some small projects at home, and that was a lot of help, because then you have a easier entry and a better motivation, because then all of a sudden you learn how to do it in a better way. professionally, and that's always nice. But you still have a lot of time, and I'm sure you will make the best of it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so as I mentioned many
Good
times
question.
throughout the presentation, currently all institutions are locked down in Denmark, and that's also why nobody can go into the university. The university is working on new concepts on how you can access crucial facilities if you really need them. And for example, people who work with certain things within the university, they are granted access. But of course, most of the things are online right now, and don't expect that to change immediately. I think the aftermath of COVID will still be very present in the next year as well.
All right. This is a question regarding how many of our applicants actually are successful students. It varies between the different study programs, but I would say, like in general, kind of an average, about 80%, which we consider really, really good. It also shows what are your chances. Yeah, it's kind of an average.
It's also in Denmark, that's why they want to know your motivation. They really want you to finish that education once you get in. So they will more likely reject you before rather than take you in so that you drop out later.
Mm-hmm. Good point. This is a question regarding if someone was repeating a year during the current studies in Poland. I don't think that's of a big issue when you're applying for a master program. If you finish your bachelor eventually, you're good to go.
Yeah, so there is a web page that is linked on SDU's webpage as well. It's called Collegiers Kontor, where you can look at all the flats and all the prices. They just have a table where they list it. And I would say for 350 euros, you can find accommodation. But of course, that's like the lower end, and it can go, of course, higher the more you want.
It's a question regarding the grading scale in Denmark, but ABC, that's something else. So the grading scale, maybe you can say about that thing?
Yeah, so they call it the 7-point grading scale. It goes from -2 to 12, but you will have the international levels of A, B, and C next to it. So if you get the Danish 12, you will get an A level written on your grade results.
Mm-hmm.
So you can easily transfer it to another country.
Mm-hmm. And also regarding the those ABC, sometimes you will notice that also this is more regarding the bachelor study programs if you would like to apply, but it also applies to the number of lessons of English. It's regarding the admission requirements. Those ABC are the number of hours for which you studied, for example, English or mathematics. So regarding our help in applying, we do not charge you with any fees. So our help is basically all for free. This is because we are working directly with the universities, including Danish universities, and because of that, you can apply without any extra charges. And all our help is for free, and we know that is sometimes not the case when you're looking at some companies which can help you with, finding your future studies. Oh, wow. Thank you, Finn. And thank you guys for so many questions. We've made it to the end and extended for 23 minutes. That's really long. So again, a big thank you, Finn, for that. Thank you guys for all the questions. I'm happy that 27 attendees are still here. We've managed to make it till the end. Again, to those who are still here, tomorrow we are holding a webinar regarding bachelor programs. If you would like to switch to another bachelor, or you know someone who is maybe currently finishing his or her high school, or maybe wants to, switch between the degrees, not currently finished a bachelor and thinking about changing to another one, be sure to recommend them, or just, to yourself, to be with us tomorrow at same time, 5 o'clock. And the link it's on our website and on the Facebook page with the Facebook event for tomorrow. Hopefully those who were viewing us on Facebook live stream, they also managed to get their questions answered and we did not miss anything. I know that we had some issues with not everyone being able to actually being able to log in, but we managed to extend the plan to have some more available spots for you for the webinar. So sorry for those who did not manage to get in at the very first attempt, but we already heard that you managed to do that later on. We've been more than 50 people today, so this is really cool. Okay, the webinar was recorded, so everyone will receive a link to be able to view it as well. Thank you again, guys, for the time. Thank you for the questions. We hope that you will contact us really soon, and we encourage you to try and to apply. Hopefully you will, of course, eventually get admitted and you'll be able to start your studies at the SDU or somewhere in Denmark or somewhere abroad. Finn, thank you very much for your time today and for sharing all
Thanks
your
for having
insight, for the great information.
And all the best and good luck.
Thank you. Good luck to all of you, to all of us, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.